It's another beautiful day in the city of Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Welcome to Good Morning Abuja, showing on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. My name is Nneka Igwe. Well, this is yet another opportunity to make it right, to get it right, and have a maximally impactful and successful day. Of course, this is your best breakfast show on the planet. We bring you everything exciting, entertaining, informative, as well as entertaining. Well, as ever, we will begin the show with our motivational segment, where Coach Didi is standing by to talk to us on something that borders around emotional intelligence. Let's take a look.
Telling people stop being sensitive is not okay. Simply because you handle things in a certain way doesn't mean everybody should handle it that way. We're all different, and the way we handle things is different. So it's okay. Some people take things in deeply. That's how they are. That's who they are. And that's who you are. So please, when you are not feeling it, it's okay. You don't have to feel it. But if they are feeling it, let them feel it. And when you see someone going through a hard time, someone is crying, that's the funny part. Are you crying? No, I'm not crying, I'm dancing. So learn to be empathetic. It's emotional intelligence. If you cannot feel people, it's okay. But do not belittle their feelings.
Now you are emotionally intelligent enough to realize that we all see things differently and people are entitled to their emotions at every point in time. Up next is our fitness corner. Get up and move with us as we go get our general body exercise.
Welcome guys to our Tabata workout class. This session is designed to give you a full cardio and strength workout while bumping to some of our favorite Tabata songs. My name is Udwaki Kara and I'll be your trainer for today. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to start with a warm-up circuit using him for the weekend. Alright, let's go. Walk with me, class.
Welcome to Tabata.
First one is 1,
Here we go with
2, you switch, 1, 2, ready? Alright, let's go this way. Other side, let's go. Just warming up. 1, 2, again. 1, 2, that's it. Let yourself go. Breathe. 1 and 2. In 5, in 4, in 3, 2. Straight to pulse squats. 1, 2, and up. 1, 2, and up. Ready? In 5, in 4, in 3, 2, 1. Take it down. Go. 1, 2, up. Good job. 1, 2, up. That's it. 1, 2. Good job. 1, 2. Let's go. Come on, keep the smiles on your faces, guys. We're about to enjoy the circuit. 5, 4, 3, 2. Next one is clap unders. All right, alternating. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well done. 1, 2, 1, and 2. Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Almost there.
All right, welcome back, and I hope you did indulge in that exercise and your body is happier and healthier. We will take a short break, and when we come back, the show continues on Good Morning Abuja.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are not ready to produce.
We've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike.
This is Entertainment Gist.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. La
of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday evening, and you're welcome to NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
First of all, you train yourself, you educate yourself, then you educate your family, and then the community at large.
Fundamentals of Islam Live, showing 7:30 p.m. every Friday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. Join us.
All right, welcome back, and so good to know that you're still with us on the show this morning. Well, as a civil servant, have you ever stopped to ponder what your retirement time will look like? Well, this morning we're discussing securing a fruitful retirement plan, and I've been joined on set by the ever dynamic and brilliant Global Director, Africa House, Engineer Abayomi Onosonya. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Thank
you. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What does it mean to retire in the first place?
Wow. Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. To retire basically means to hang your boots, to throw in the towel after long years of serving your country or your company. And retirement is meant to be a period where you enjoy, or shall I say, reap the fruits of your labor. But unfortunately, in the Nigeria and Africa of today, many people are tired, but unfortunately, they have to keep pushing in order to be able to survive. So we would aim to discuss what we can do as a people, as Nigerians, of course, my listeners, to secure that fruitful retirement devoid of hunger, of misery, and the anxiety that we've seen over the last couple of decades in Nigeria, because there are millions of retirees out there who are basically not smiling. And not smiling not because they've not served, they've served very well, but unfortunately, the economic realities is beginning to bite. It's eating hard, and even the people in service, they're feeling it, and talk less of people who are retired, because when you retire, what you earn is much less than what you would otherwise earn whilst still in service. So we need to really do justice to this topic to ensure that we not only help the ones who've retired, but to help ourselves, because whether we like it or not, we're going to retire.
Absolutely.
Like I always famously say, it's either you retire, it's either you leave the office or the office leaves you. One or two will happen to you. So we need to explore what you can do to keep yourself grounded before you retire, because many people often think, oh, I need to retire, then I'll think of what to do. And if I have time, I will give you examples, personal examples that I know of. I have a friend, he's a professor, you see, and he served gallantly, and then all of a sudden he said, oh, I'm retiring next month. Oh, okay, yes, I am retiring. And then he started to panic. And then I said, okay, relax, don't panic. And, if professor friend of ours now said, listen, just take 1 month off, do nothing. Just take 1 month off, go to your village, spend 1 month, relax, don't think about retirement. And then your ideas will start coming to you, because any decision you make now, you'll make a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes. And because money in your hand, people will start giving you strange advices. And you wake up in the next 365 days, everything is gone. And then it becomes a misery that you don't want to experience. So our advice our listeners to please pay attention. We'll see what we can do to do justice to this topic.
Would you assert that Nigerians are financially secure at retirement?
We're not. The simple answer is we're not. Because why are we not secure is because we've not been taught how to retire. In order for you to retire, you need to be taught how to retire, because retirement is a complete shift from what you think you know. Because in the service for 35 years, you go to work 8 in the morning, you come back 5 o'clock, 5:30, and then you have a routine. And all of a sudden you wake up like, I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. And then, okay, what do I do? Do I still go back to my old office, or what do I do with my life? And not even that. The issue is, what I'm earning is no longer what it used to be. So our financial security is at risk. I will say that, not just in Nigeria, by the way, across Africa, the African continent, you see. And why we're insecure is because we've not been taught what things we can do in order to be able to secure ourselves, to grant ourselves financially, so that what we're getting in is enough to take care of our bills. And unfortunately, the older you become, the more expensive living is, because some of the medicines that retirees use, they are really expensive. Because once you retire, you're prone to several ailments. From diabetes to hypertension to glaucoma and whatnot. And these medicines, some of them, a single dose could be as high as 20,000, 30,000. So the question is, with your pension of 200,000, 250,000, how do you even manage? You have to buy petrol. You have to eat anyways. It's not like the older you become, the less you eat. You have to eat.
You still get hungry.
You still get hungry. And then you have unfortunately, many people have dependents, even still at that age. You have children still in school. You have cousins, even maybe your mother still alive. You have to take care of her. And then if you're unlucky, you don't have a house yet over your house that you can call yours, your own. So then how do you pay? So these are some of the things that I know is in the minds of most Nigerians, especially people working in the civil service, because we seem to ignore this topic, and I'm happy we're discussing it today, because many people, you say retirement, it's like this fear, that phobia, thank you, that eats you hard, and then no, I don't want to talk about it. No, I still have 10 years more to go, I have 20 years more to go. No, face the fear, create a plan, and then before you know, when retirement comes, you're prepared. You just smile at retirement and say, you know what, I'm fine. So we'll attempt to discuss what mistakes to avoid, what businesses you should do, what businesses you should not even put your finger into, so that you don't make mistakes and then regret it afterwards.
As a Nigerian worker, how can one basically secure their retirement?
Well, in order to secure a retirement, you need to start right before you retire. And I say, people know me to say this, that you need to start planning at least 10 years before you retire. And what that 10 year does is it gives you the room and opportunity to make mistakes, because every business has an incubation period. There's no business, no matter how well you think you know that business, if you're getting into it initially, you make a lot of mistakes, and then there's a learning curve. And then after you understand the A to Z of the business, then you can comfortably say, I know this business very well, I can avoid the risk, and I can focus on the profitability. And again, this is why I like what the federal government is doing, because they've instituted this retirement program, or shall I say retirement training program, where we're part of it, by the way, where they would ministries would nominate workers who are about to retire, and then they bring them in for a week, and then we'll train them in different value chains, what they can do, what are their options and everything, and then they go back and then try to implement some of these things that we've taught them. But unfortunately, the timing is, I believe, is not right. What do I mean by this is because you don't tell someone who has 1 year to go, or 1 week to go, or 1 month to go for a training, and then you think you'll be fine. Whether I like it or not, yes, he has learned a lot of things, but he's still confused. But you need a longer period of time to get rid of that confusion, that fear, because the fear of starting business is the beginning of wisdom, really, trust me. Because we that were in the business world, it's not easy to do business, especially for a civil servant who's been used to a routine for 35 years. It's difficult to pivot or to change your mindset away from the usual things that you're used to. You have to start thinking, okay, fine, if I don't work, I don't get paid. If I don't make profit, I don't pay my bills. But in civil service, you work very hard, but sometimes, whether you like it or not, as long as you're doing your work correctly, your salary is almost a constant. But in business, today you can make 1 million, for the next 90 days you may make 0. So you need to prepare yourself for that. You need to learn how to actually save a lot of money, plan for your rent, plan for your education, plan for your children, for food and all those things. So all those strategic planning are the things you need in order for you to prepare yourself very well for it. And of course, identify what risky businesses you should run away from, and which other businesses you think is safe. I call them safe businesses that a retiree should do. And at the same time, and I hope we have time to talk about what businesses retirees can put their fingers into, and of course invest their money into, and of course how to avoid fraud along the way.
Absolutely, we do. That's the basis of why we're here in the first place. I know a retiree who put his money into buying and selling of foodstuffs, and few months down the line, everything vanished. What are the businesses to avoid?
Well,
which ones are safe?
That is the big question. I mean, yes, the danger of retiring without having a plan is that people will bring suggestions to you. And of course, they know, oh, this guy is retiring. Oh, for sure, the government is going to pay him certain amount of money, your severance pay. And people will come up with ridiculous ideas. Even people who have not even done it by themselves say, oh, listen, I heard pure water business is good. Let's do pure water business. Oh, I heard selling rice and beans is good. Oh, I heard restaurant business. And people foolishly will just jump on the bandwagon, pour their few millions that they've gotten and that they've saved, and then everything will vanish, like you said. So that takes me to what businesses you should avoid. I would say first on my list is avoid. I don't want poultry business on a small scale. And what I mean by small scale is like you have 100 chicken, 200 chicken, 500 birds that you are raising for meat in order to sell, when they mature. While the business is a fantastic business, but for a retiree, remember your resources are limited. And in that business, you are constrained by the cost of feeding the animals. And also, you are at the mercy of the off-takers or the buyers. After spending that much money raising the animals, if you don't get the right buyer at the right time, you end up losing a lot of money. In fact, some people will get angry. They'll just keep killing the chicken by themselves one by one and just eat it. Really. So you need to be careful, unless, of course, you have access to serious funds, which allows you to follow the value chain A to Z. What do I mean by that? You produce your own feed, which basically means you can offtake corn when it's in season. Like now, when corn, is in season, or soybean, you offtake them in bags. You buy like several tons, and then you learn how to produce the feed yourself. You formulate it. That means you're cutting down 30% of the cost you would otherwise have lost by buying from third-party sellers. And then you raise your birds. If you have money, you can get an incubator machine to incubate the eggs yourself, or you just buy them the old chicks. And then once they reach maturity, you need to invest in slaughtering the animals yourself, because if you don't, the guy will just come and say, oh guy, I'm going to buy this bird at 2,000 naira per each, and you say, no, but my cost is 7,000. I don't care, take it or leave it. So what do? Do you kill them? Do you put them in your freezer and wait for somebody to come to your house and knock? No. So the wise thing to do as a retiree is go the extra length, have a system where you get the animals slaughtered yourself, and have a shop or an outlet where you sell directly to the end consumer. You will always make more money when you sell to the end consumer, and your profit is at least 80% of your entire investment if you follow from feed to selling to the customer. So that's and this is where I believe collaboration comes into play, because in Africa, this is not just Nigeria now, we have this mentality of me, myself and I. I don't want to work with him, I don't trust him, you don't trust her. The problem is, we need to start looking at the concept of cooperative businesses, where individuals will come in together and join their forces, or we can even say association of NTA retirees, for example, a pool of maybe 5,000 retirees coming together to actually own a large chicken operation, the the meat business, for example. And that way, everything is legal. There's nothing like Abayam is the one controlling it. No, I think she's cheating me. No, you have a structure and you have companies who will manage the business for you. Take transparency, so that it's no longer like I think he's stealing the eggs, or he's stealing the birds. So Africans need to have this reorientation that success sometimes does not have to be only you. You need to work with people and work with people. Create a legal structure that does not put power in the hands of one guy, which will probably push him towards corruption and all that. So that's another aspect. Another thing that, like you said, is avoid buying and selling as much as possible. When I say buying and selling,
why is that?
Because inflation is one thing that kills business. Imagine now you take last month, we were talking about rice just before we started airing. Someone bought it for 70,000 like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, a bag of rice, and now they're saying 120, 125,000. Imagine you took your money to buy bags of rice, you made a profit, and when you go back to the market to buy, the money you have is no longer enough to buy 10 bags. It's only 2 bags. So as a retiree, you cannot absorb that shock. You're not built for that level of uncertainty. So businesses you should give you a bit of peace of mind, and will give you that stability. What do I mean by businesses? Businesses such as spice production, or shall I say mini spice production enterprise, which basically involves you of taking products like ginger, garlic, and some other things, and you convert them into spices, into powder, that you pack and then you can sell. Why is that? Is because once you do your processing, you are not in a rush to sell it. You see, whether you sell it in 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, you have that shelf life to keep your investment secure. And the longer you keep it, the more the value rises. That's the reality. So, and there's a demand for certain spices at certain periods of the year. Like now we're in Harmattan, you need all the spices, garlic, ginger, and all those things that helps people fight infections and all that. So these are some of the business you can do. And on a much larger scale, you can do food storage business. Food storage business is a fantastic business that a retiree who have access to a couple of millions can do. What you need to do, you identify certain products. Now beans is being harvested in some parts of the north. What do? You go to those places like Kebbi or Bauchi or Niger. You take white beans, red beans. Of course, you'll have to learn how this process works. Not just buying and then just keeping it in your kitchen. No, you have to learn the standards of how to keep to avoid infestation of pests and all that. So you can do that and then keep the beans, and then before you know it, you can even be keeping for people will be paying to store, and then you can even sell for 20-30% profit after a few months. So these are some of the businesses you can do. Even cold storage business, there's always demand. Cold room, there's always demand for cold room, because what happens then is you actually necessarily don't have to spend money to stock the cold room yourself. Once you build in strategic locations, people will come and say, "Oh God, please, can you store this thing for me?" You get your money cash up front. So it's an investment on its own. The cold room is an investment, is the value keeps appreciating. So these are some of the businesses, and there's a huge list of what businesses people can do. Agriculture, you can do that too, but be careful. Agriculture can be very, very precarious, because I've seen people who say, "You know what, I'm going to retire, I'm going to be a farmer," which is good, but then you go buy the land. After you buy the land, unfortunately, security situation makes you can't even go to the farm. You're scared of even going for the security of your workers and yourself. So people have abandoned their farms. So don't go into farming unless you're sure where you're farming is very secure, and also choose your crop wisely. Don't just grow what people think is profitable. And one other thing in the same vein of agriculture is greenhouses. Greenhouse cultivation,
nurseries,
not necessarily nurseries, greenhouse. Greenhouse cultivation, you grow food under a controlled environment. And the beauty of this is you need a small space even in the back of your house. If you've got a bit of space, maybe 10 meters by 20 meters, you set up a greenhouse, and then what do? You grow crops out of season, because you are controlling the environment. Like in my office, for example, we're producing okra, we're producing spinach and monokia, which is a weedu. You can't find it in the market now. It's ridiculously expensive, but because it's a greenhouse, I can produce, and then people will be queuing and be begging you, say, "Madam, please sell to us. We want to buy." So that's something simple, not expensive. It's 2-3 million, set it up, and then income will start coming. You can even do strawberries, by the way, the things that people don't have access to. So these are some of the ideas that you can put your money into to secure your retirement, not necessarily what everybody is doing, and run away from the people say is this. No, run away from hearsay. It's the fastest way to lose money.
Lose your money.
Exactly. So one has to be careful.
Let's talk about another very important variable: housing. Is your retirement time that time you want to start roofing that house to move in? Because nobody wants to retire and they are struggling with landlord and all of that. What can you tell me?
Unfortunately, when you retire is the wrong place, it's the wrong time to think of housing. It's a very wrong time, because you think about it. Let's say level 14 officer retires, and then they pay him maybe 15 million in his bulk money, and then he's going to be receiving 120, 150 every month, and then he has not, shall I say, completed his house yet. And then you say, "Okay, fine, let me quickly rush my house, let me finish it." Then he rushes to day, he rushes to market, he buys the roofing sheet, he does this and does that. Before you know it, because of the cost of building materials, that 15 million will finish in a week, and you're not even nowhere near where you want the house to be. So I would advise my listeners, please, 10 years, 5 years before you retire, ensure that you have a roof over your head. Ensure by all means necessary. And another thing I want to tell you, this may sound controversial. You don't need to live in the city as a retiree. Says who? Who says you must live in Abuja? You can go back to your village or to your town where life is cheaper, where you already have a house, because most people actually fall into this category. They have a house in their village or in their hometown, but because they're working in Abuja or in Lagos, they've had to be renting house for the last 20 years, and then they retire and say, "Oh, I must have a house in Lagos." It's not necessary, because you think about how much is the parcel of land now in Abuja in a good location, minimum 8 million, 10 million. How much are you going to use to build? How much is blocks, cement, labor, tiles, fittings? So you don't want to fall into that trap. Let me pack all my money and just finish my house, and I'll pray to God to take care of me afterwards. Unless you want to build a tiny little box and then. But the truth is, sit down and think carefully that, you know what, let me go to cheaper places. Let me go to your village is always the best place, or your hometown, or where you were born is always the easiest place to settle down, and the peace of mind. And then you start something small, and then eventually when you're rich, you can say, I want to go and build a house in Asokoro or whatever. You can always do that, but it's the wrong time to think of building a house.
As we wrap up, sir, please tell me, what are you doing at the Africa House to, secure retirement in that sphere?
I mean, we do have a retirement program that we do across the continent, by the way, and there's a Pan-African project which basically allows anyone from any part of Africa to invite us, and then we sit them down, we consult and advise different government agencies, even the private sector. They bring in their people. Even with some agencies will even bring people in at the moment they hire them. They start preparing them from the beginning. Say, you have 35 years to go, start planning now. So they bring them in, we advise them on all these things I've talked about. What are the options? We do the financial analysis. How much are you going to get when you retire? When you do retire, what do you have in savings and all that? So we guide them along this route. And then, of course, we work closely with the federal government of Nigeria in the retirement programs where they bring MDAs, and then we train people before they retire. And then, of course, we give them access to finance from different banks within Nigeria, and then they can use that as a foundation to start their business. So basically, we're very, very active in the retirement sphere as well.
For want of time, I have to stop us here. I wish we could go on and on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
and
very
adding
much.
so much value. Well, there you have it. You can actually look towards your retirement with so much zeal and confidence if you do the right things and put the right things in place. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we have more exciting discussions on Good Morning Abuja. Stay with us, please.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike.
This is Entertainment Gist.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Farmers made form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam NTA channel.
That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
All right, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. At this point, we will pause to bring you a classical musical break. It's a very unusual one, and I'm sure you're going to love it.
Ẹ bá mi sọ fún sísí yẹn kó má lọ. Mo ti sọ wípé fàájì gẹ́lẹ́ làwọ̀. Ẹ bá mi sọ fún sísí yẹn kó má sá lọ. Àníṣe mo ti sọ wípé fàájì gẹ́lẹ́ làjọ wà. Sísí jọ̀wọ́ kó má lọ kíá. Ọmọdé ṣe ni. Díá mi dá dúró dè mí, àní kò gbé mi sáyà, kó wá fífẹ́ dúdú sáyà mi. ọmọdé ń ṣe mí díyà mi dá díyà jọ̀wọ́ kó má lọ o ọmọdé ń ṣe mí kó gbé mi sáyà kó wá fífẹ́ tútù sọ́yà.
I see the sun in your eyes, I see the stars in your eyes, I see the colors of the rainbow in your eyes. So baby, if not play, you play. Baby, make you stop, I'm sharply. I say make you stop, and before you come make mess in my day. Enjoy, but me so pussy, oh my love, my baby, bello, you know me and you today, now you will be my dog, oh no, won't know, because I'm a tukada, I am a tukada, I'm a tukada.
Lagadi, shake on, hola,
so,
dúró dè mí, kò gbé mi fàyà, kó wá fífẹ́ tútù sọ́kàn mi.
Ẹ bá mi sọ fún Sisi ẹ, come my love, my baby make me bello, cause me and you today, now you will be my omoto.
Cover, there was something unique behind.
The voice for me, it was a gradual process. Discovering I have something, I started back then singing as a choir boy. Of course, I'm still a choir boy, and started back then when I was in a very tender age, trying to I just believe I got something, and I want my voice to be heard. So I started, and then people started giving me feedback that, okay, there's something unique about you. All thanks to late Mr. Achiteso. He was my music mentor then, so he told me I got something. I joined the choir, from the choir singing. Then I thought, okay, fine, what has it been? What good has it been? A shock in the pond. Why not just go expand your scope? And that got me to where I am now. I started seeking opportunities to go perform professionally, and that led me to competitions like The Voice Nigeria, which I did. Fortunately got to the finals, and then singing with choral group like the Abuja Metropolitan Music Society. So all this professional platform, has breeded me and gotten me where I am as a classical artist.